All right, episode 82 of the Stand Firm podcast. I'm Quintin.
I'm Wyatt.
And this is the podcast where two real Christians get together, have honest conversations, and discover hard truths. Wyatt, we got a new setup around us, brother.
We do. I think it's looking pretty nice.
I think it looks good. I think it makes it a little more professional. You know, you can see the wrinkles kind of in it.
They're brand new sheets, man.
Yeah,
what do you want?
the wrinkles will fall out.
That's right.
Cut us some slack. But yeah, we're really excited.
Quentin wants me to iron sheets before I hang them.
I do.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, everybody basically knows we're slops now. No, I'm excited. We're up in the studio a little bit.
Yeah.
And we've even got a third angle on the way.
On the way.
It's going to be here. We promise. Just give us some time. It would help if I would remember the camera.
It would. That would be just a tad useful.
Hey, this is coming from a guy who came to a camp out, full intention to record, and forgot his SD card.
That was the second time. I'm still, 50%, 50-50 shot. That's a coin flip, man.
You're right.
How much are you? 0 for 2 right now.
I've only forgot the camera once. No, today.
Forgot it once, but then we couldn't get it working.
Oh, shoot. You're right.
If you're counting that.
Freaking A, man.
We don't need to keep score. We don't keep score here.
No. Okay, so we've got a little bit of a new structure now.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to get these Genesis episodes out to you in... we're trying to get through it quicker. And so we want to continue to get them out more in bulk and more quality. We're going like a chapter at a time, and it's just going to take us a long time.
Oh, yeah. These are big books we're going through.
So what we're going to start doing is we are going to sit down for a couple hours at a time, and we're going to go through this in a chain. And then those episodes will be broken up and sent out to you in, about a month increments. So it'll be one long study, but it'll be cut up. So you'll still get it every single Sunday, but it will come, it'll be basically in parts. So where we will finish a couple chapters, we'll feel like we're good, and then we'll move on. And so that's kind of how we'll do it. It'll just be different parts. So not going to change really anything for how it's consumed or how it comes out, but we just kind of want to explain, like, why are they wearing the same clothes all the time? We're not slobs. We just, but that'll allow us to make this more consistent too. Make the
be able to dive into stuff deeper too.
Because we have more time. So make our schedule more consistent and stuff. So anyways, just wanted to address that real quick before we got too far into things. Wyatt.
Yeah.
It's been a second since we've sat down.
That's right.
Real quick, how you doing, man?
Been doing all right. Working a ton, but that's good. Getting a lot of practice in the things that I need to. Had some family stuff. Well, pets of the family. We had a pet pass recently, so I don't know. It's been kind of
Sorry, man.
It's all right.
That's
It's been kind of a somber day, but I don't know. It is a good reminder that, life isn't forever. So, we all meet our maker eventually. So I've been thinking about God a lot today, too, in other aspects. So I'm excited to get into this scripture.
I guess that's a good spot to direct yourself.
Yeah, well, where else are you going to?
That's true.
How you been, though?
I've been good. I've been good working.
yeah, that's kind of what we do.
No, I don't think too much has really gone on. We had the How to Be a Man conference just happened last Saturday.
That went really well.
Yeah, I felt like that was really good. I feel like the sessions were great. The main lessons were good. The music was good. Did you like the food?
Yes, I did.
Yes.
Pulled pork.
Yeah.
That mac and cheese was the bomb, dude. Was that Kara's?
No. Did it
that?
taste familiar? Did it taste like you've had it before?
Don't ask me that question. I eat a lot of food. Not particularly.
It was basically the meal we had at our wedding. It was John's pulled pork and then that same mac and cheese.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Dude, so good you had to do it again?
Yeah. No, it was good. It's easy and fairly cheap. So
yeah.
But no, that went really well. And then just been trudging along. Like everything's kind of there's so many things in play right now, and I'm trying to narrow it all down just with the podcast and life in general, and it's like work, and I just spent a week in training up in Carmel. That was just it was only a week, but it just felt like a lot. And
I bet.
so there's been a lot going on there, which has been great. I've loved it, but I'm just trying to get all my pieces back in.
Yeah, get into a routine.
Yeah, get back into a routine.
I bet a week like that does throw you off considerably.
It does. Well, it's hard because I had just got back from Michigan. So, I've been off so much this year. It's been crazy. So, we went, and I went to, I'm trying to think back to the first. Oh, okay. I took a day off after the Super Bowl. That was just a little day.
Okay.
And then my grandpa passed away, and we ended up going to Virginia to not bury him. He was already buried, but have a graveside service for him because that's where he ended up being buried. So we went and did that. So I took some days off in Virginia to do that. It was bereavement days. Took those off. Got back. Almost immediately went back to Michigan. Took the rest of my vacation days in Michigan. Got back and then basically immediately went to Indy and took a week, just not in work, doing classes. And so I have been.
You're all over the place.
I've been off so much this year, and it's just been crazy. I have 5 days of vacation, but the times I've had it off has been a lot.
Yeah.
It's been good-ish. I feel like all my vacations have not really been vacations. Michigan was cleaning out the cabin. Virginia was going to bury my grandpa. And, so it's been a little bit of a bummer. It's just been a wild year. We're in August. We're basically in September now. And it's been a crazy year. We did the church flashback video. Did you see that? Were you there for that?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, and so
that was really cool.
Some of the stuff, I'm like, I forgot that was even this
Completely
year.
forgot.
The chili cook-off
Yep.
and stuff like that. I was like, I forgot that was even this year. I mean, it's flown by.
Oh, yeah. And we're not even to September yet.
I know.
But it's nice that it's been cooling off, though. These last, few weeks have been absolutely terrible.
Yeah, so
I'm so sick and tired of it.
Next week, we've got lows of 50s.
Oh, yeah.
Highs
of,
I think the highest is 80, so it'll be good.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Most of the day needs to be about 68 degrees.
Yeah.
That is just...
I like a high of 60.
I could do that.
Because I get to wear a hoodie all day.
Only if I'm wearing, my work clothes and I got my overalls on and stuff.
Yeah, so I'm excited for that. It was funny, by the time we're done, by the time, this recording session's done, it'd be probably pretty chilly out.
Yes.
By the time I get all these episodes out, it'll be cool.
That's always nice because I love keeping my windows open. I like making the room so cold that you have to get under the covers or put something on to stay warm.
Yeah.
Not the opposite way around.
Yeah.
So
anyways.
Okay. Yeah, you want to dive into...
A lot of things going on, but yes.
Genesis, we're going back to 17 now.
Yes, let me pull out my big Biblia.
Still that big Bible. Big Bible.
Big Bible.
Almost said biblioteca. That's library.
It's a library, you moron.
Okay. So, just starting in chapter 17, verse 1, it says, When Abram was 99 years old, the Lord appeared to him and said, I am God Almighty. Walk before me faithfully and be blameless. Then I will make my covenant between me and you will be greatly increased in number. Abram fell face down, and God said to him, As for me, this is my covenant. Abram fell face down, and God said to him, As for me, this is my covenant with you. You will be the father of many nations. No longer will you be called Abram. Your name will be Abraham, for I have made you a father of many nations. I will make you very fruitful. I will make nations of you, and kings will come from you. I will establish my covenant as an everlasting covenant between you and me and your descendants after you, for generations to come, to be your God and the God of your descendants after you. The whole land of Canaan, where you now reside as a foreigner, I will give you as an everlasting possession to you and your descendants after you, and I will be their God. Just kind of right off the bat, we see... I thought it's interesting, when Abram was 99 years old, the Lord appeared to him, and he said, I'm God Almighty, which in my book, there's a note that says El Shaddai, which is the first time you see El Shaddai in the Old Testament.
Yeah.
And I really like that. I kind of looked into that, kind of the different names of God, and we see a ton. This is only 2, and there's still so many more.
Yeah.
But first we see the Lord, right, which is Yahweh, or YHWH.
Yeah.
Right, which we can find more of that in Exodus chapter 6 when Moses is talking to him, and especially in the burning bush. But that can mean I am, right, when God answers and says, I am who I am. But as for El Shaddai, it's broken down into 2 parts. El meaning strong or mighty, and Shaddai meaning breast, right? And so that's what I think. Just as a mighty breastplate, God is both our mighty protector and our nurturer, right? He's our sustainer as well. So I just think that's really interesting that, they kick off immediately with 2 different names that describe not only who he is, but also what he does, right? Because I think God is defined so many ways by who and what he is, but also what he provides, because he does, right? For humans, it's impossible, but for God, it's possible, right? That's how you know it's God, right?
Yeah.
And so I really like that. As far as walk before me, I think that's interesting too, because I think that calls to Noah as well, right? How we saw how Noah walked faithfully with God and he was blameless of his time. I mean, that suggests a deliberate, ongoing lifestyle of devotion, right? And it's not talking about perfection. He doesn't want him to be perfect, but he wants him to be devoted to him, right?
Yeah.
So I just really find that interesting right off the bat. So we see God starts with what am I going to do for you? I'm going to make you a father of nations. This is the blessing. And then so we'll see through the next part of this chapter is what do you have to do to hold up your end of the covenant?
Yeah, I agree. I think it is cool how it's split up that way. It's like here it is. Like it's almost like a contractual, like here's your end and then here's what you have to uphold. But so one thing I want to note on here is his name change from Abram to Abraham.
Yes.
So Abraham, his name being changed, is father of multitude, which I think is a pretty, that makes sense.
Pretty applicable.
And then as we carry through, we'll get to it. Is Sarai's name change, which is similar, which we'll get into when we get there. But that's the first one, is the 2 name changes between Abraham and Sarai. Like you are seeing this very significant split in Abraham and Sarah's story, where they are now, this covenant circumcision becomes a very huge part. Like this is, to me, it's almost like a new chapter, is beginning, which I think is really well signified with the name change. Also, here in verse 6 to 8, kind of what you covered, but where he was talking about making him, where God was telling Abraham he was going to make him extremely fruitful, and the nations and kings coming from him, confirming his covenant between me, you, and your future offspring, like kind of restating these covenants.
Yeah.
A lot of these promises had already been made to Abraham in the past chapters, which we've read, but this is the first time that we see these covenants all in one place. And so God is really like, these are all the things that we've talked about and that I've promised you, and so he's really laying out the covenant now.
Yeah.
It's all being put into one spot, and as we continue on, you see Abraham's doubt and Sarah's doubt, but God is now he's laying it all down, and now he's really, almost seems like the tires are really hitting the pavement now, a little bit, and then you carry through with their end of it.
Yeah, and I don't know, what do you think? Because I almost think that circumcision was almost a precursor to baptism. It's almost the Old Testament, like it's prefiguring baptism, and as a way, you're doing this physical act that separates you from God, and it's I don't know how much people be seeing that, but it could be seen by other people.
Yeah.
That you can't hide it, right? You can't, reattach that skin,
Right.
So
how often people are saying your circumcision.
That's
but,
right.
No, I do think that it is almost like a bit of a precursor. baptism, communion, like those sacred things with God, and it is like
It's like physical signs.
It's a before and an after, right? And what's really cool, like this is, not to jump ahead a little bit, we'll get there.
Well, I mean, do you want to keep going? We can.
Yeah, we can. But first, yes, I think that's a good point to bring up, because I think we can hit on it later as we can carry through, because the way that God lays out circumcision is a very clear, like, you are my people. So it does. I personally feel like it does relate to that baptism point. A lot.
I definitely think, and well, let's just get into it. We can talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
So it says, starting in verse 9, it says, "Then God said to Abraham, 'As for you, you must keep my covenant, and you and your descendants after you for the generations to come. This is my covenant with you and your descendants after you, the covenant you are to keep. Every male among you shall be circumcised. You are to undergo circumcision, and it will be the sign of the covenant between you and me for the generations to come. Every male among you who is 8 days old must be circumcised, including those born in your household or bought with money from a foreigner. Those who are not your offspring, whether born in your household or bought with your money, they must be circumcised. My covenant in your flesh is to be an everlasting covenant. Any uncircumcised male who has not been circumcised in the flesh will be cut off from his people, as he has broken my covenant.' God also said to Abraham, 'As for Sarai, your wife, you are no longer to call her Sarai. Her name will be Sarah. I will bless her and will surely give you a son by her. I will bless her so that she will be the mother of nations. Kings of peoples will come from her.' Abraham fell face down. He laughed and said to himself, 'Will a son be born to a man 100 years old? Will Sarah bear a child at her age of 90? And Abram said to God, 'If only Ishmael might live under your blessing.' Then God said, 'Yes, but your wife Sarah will bear you a son, and you will call him Isaac. I will establish my covenant with him as an everlasting covenant for his descendants after him. And as for Ishmael, I have heard you. I will surely bless him. I will make him fruitful and will greatly increase his number. He will be the father of 12 rulers, and I will make him into a great nation. But my covenant I will establish with Isaac, whom Sarah will bear to you by this time next year.' When he had finished speaking with Abraham, God went up from him. On that day, Abraham took his son Ishmael and all those born in his household, or bought with money, every male in the household, and circumcised them, as God told him. Abraham was 99 years old when he was circumcised, and his son Ishmael was 13. Abraham and his son Ishmael were both circumcised on that very day, and every male in Abraham's household, including those born in his household or bought from a foreigner, was circumcised with him."
Yeah.
So that's the end of it there.
Yes, that's chapter 17.
Yeah. So I think it's a precursor to baptism in a way that you're doing this thing that marks your flesh, but it's also to signify your faith and your spiritual relationship with God. And I feel like along with, when they get that law, everything's about the flesh. It's about what you do, not really what you believe. So it doesn't matter if you really believe in God so much, just that you're circumcised. And I feel like that's where they went so wrong.
Yeah.
God was trying to show them that you do this as well, almost as a reminder of your relationship with me, that your flesh reminds you of your spiritual self, right?
Yeah.
And instead, I think they took that, they completely forgot the spirit, and they only looked at the flesh.
Yeah, I agree. Yes, it does. And stepping back to verse 13, verse 11, you must circumcise the flesh of your foreskin to serve as a sign of the covenant between me and you. And so, like I said, the way that's described really does turn your mind towards baptism. And this in verse 13, where you see whether born in your household or purchased, he must be circumcised, right? This shows that you're willing to submit all of yourself to God and his covenant. This circumcision is a surrender of the first portion of the body part of the instrument that is used to fulfill God's first command to humanity, humanity in Genesis chapter 1, right? Be fruitful and multiply. And so this is that willing submission to him and his covenant.
That's interesting. I haven't thought about it like that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and then I think another piece about this too is it's a leveling effect in the Israelite community. Whether rich or poor or whatever, you were circumcised. And so I think it is very similar to baptism in that sense of
no one can boast before God. It doesn't matter,
Yes.
rich or poor. We're all on the same level.
Yes,
We all
exactly.
need to walk with God.
Yeah, I agree. So yeah, those are just a few points about the circumcision in general, and then jump into Sarah's name change from Sarai to Sarah, which is princess.
Which is funny. Both of those, even after the name change, it still talks about just meaning princess. But
Yeah.
I really like it too because I think that signifies that she's not just Abraham's wife. She got changed as well by God, and she's a part of that covenant, right? That when she changed from Sarai to Sarah, now Isaac is promised to her, and she has a real part to play in the coming of bringing
Well,
the nations forward.
Exactly. And this Sarah it's just an alternate form of Sarai. So it's a different form of princess. They're both princess, but this princess would be given the privilege of producing nations, kings of peoples, and they would come from her. So during the Old Testament period, at least, as we'll talk about, 4 nations came from Sarah's womb. And so, yes, this is that piece, that part that she's playing that you're talking about. And the Lord specifically indicates that he would bless that.
Yeah. You can almost see later, too, and we'll get to it in a few chapters, but it's funny how Abram and Hagar had a son by their human efforts, right? Because they didn't believe God's going to give them this promised son. But then it turns into Abraham and Sarah who get the promised son, showing that it doesn't matter how old you are. It's God can do the impossible, but you just have to wait on him, I think. It happened. Honestly, I think that's why they had to wait that long, because the longer they waited, the more impossible it would be by human efforts to get pregnant and to have a son.
Yeah.
So when you wait that extra minute, then it's
the
only explanation is it's impossible. It must have been God. It must have been some kind of miracle.
Well,
that happened.
I think that's a huge element of it, because you see both when we get into chapter 18. Well, and you see Abram scoff at it a little bit. Where he said 99 years old, but then you see in verse 18 where Sarah even laughs at God.
Yes.
It was like, I'm too old, and we get into that, but.
Well, and that kind of shapes his name too, Isaac, meaning he laughed.
Yes.
Right? Which is hilarious.
But I do, and going back to my first point of this being a shifting point, this is a different pattern in Scripture. So, we're brought up, we have new names, right? A new mission. And we see this lineage begin to form. So I think this chapter 17 starts to unpack a lot in what we're going to see in the rest of Genesis. And I like too, one of the points you brought up, I think you brought up, was the covenant through Isaac and not Ishmael. Right, and God's promises being precise.
Yeah.
And Ishmael still being blessed, so it's not like he got punished for something that he wasn't in control of. But God's mercy was beyond that covenant line. But it does, I think, I don't know, would you agree, that it kind of begins to raise this tension of like God's sovereign election and human expectations?
Oh, for sure, yeah. The definite tension between Isaac and Ishmael.
Right.
Yeah. And it's funny, too, because it says, I have heard you, I will surely bless him, talking about Ishmael. I think it's funny that, we put so much emphasis on who God chose, but that doesn't mean he's going to cast everyone he doesn't choose into hell or nothing, right? Just because you're not the chosen one doesn't mean you can't have a blessed life, and you can't still be devoted to God and still do what's right, too. It's just that, especially as we're in the Old Testament, his plan to bring forth the Savior, the Messiah, and how we see in here, many nations will be blessed through you. as we've seen in the last few chapters, that blessing is talking about Jesus, right?
Yeah.
It's talking about that coming from Abraham's line. So we're seeing just that he chose Isaac because he has this plan to bring forth the Messiah, but that doesn't mean he cast everybody off aside.
Yeah.
You know?
No, so, yeah, I mean, that's chapter 17.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's probably good for this one.
Yeah, ties it up in a bow.
All right. Well, we're going to stay sitting in this chair.
That's right.
We will see
Keep
you
going.
guys next Sunday.